Well, this one's going to be a bit different, and folks, we're going to try and just find out a bit about people's life stories in some of these videos, and so we're, in a sense, practicing on ourselves. And I thought I'd interview Peter because he's been in on all of these from the very start, and so I want to find out a bit about this guy, and let's just see where that leads us. So, Peter, where are you from?
I am from Cornwall.
Born here?
Yeah, I was born in Trelisk Hospital in Truro, and I've been a proud Brippian for many 25 years.
Okay, so you go to school in Camborne?
No, I went to school. Even though that we lived in Bripper, the closest school would be Pen Ponds. We started going to Caherland before then, so we just continued all the siblings going to Caherland.
Yeah.
And then I went to Camborne School and things.
Okay. Any highlights of early life?
Yeah, I don't know how early, but I definitely had a good time doing surf life saving, which is what the sport that lifeguards do. And I was a nipper.
What do you mean a nipper?
It's the age group from 8 years old to 13 years old, and they're called nippers. And I did all the competitions around Cornwall and up north somewhere, or Wales and Devon and things like that.
So you went to Wales and Devon for these things?
Yeah. And the reason I did that is because my older brother Josh and my sister did it as well, and I did it, and I did swimming. So to your point, I had a good time doing the sport.
So are you a strong swimmer then?
I was a strong swimmer.
What do you mean by strong?
Well, I could do 50 meters in 36 seconds.
Right.
And now it takes me a minute.
Okay. But what about, I mean...
I can swim, yeah.
Yeah, but can you swim a long distance?
Yeah, I haven't swum in a while, but a couple of years ago I could swim, maybe I'd go to Canberra and swim a mile.
Okay, so you can swim a long way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, although I did breaststroke and then front crawl, intermittent.
Yeah.
So
you were qualified? Did you end up qualifying as a lifesaver?
Well, you qualify as a lifeguard, but as a surf lifesaver, you just as long as you can swim and stuff, you just do all the beach competitions. Right. And I wasn't the best at it, but growing up, it's nice to do something active, which I miss because of...
Yeah, because you're not... I mean, my knowledge of you from, discussions and chats with all sorts of people around us and, learning a bit about each other's lives is that you shy away from certain kinds of exercise or effort.
For a couple of reasons, I'm not as active anymore, to do with mental health medication and the injury of my knee.
Yeah, you did. Tell us about how you... Well, first of all, tell us about how you injured your knee.
Well, someone rugby tackled me in PE and it tore an ACL, which is the anterior cruciate ligament, which connects your lower leg to your upper leg.
Right.
And so I had a couple operations, and so now I can't really do sport without it swelling up. So
but you can swim, presumably.
I can swim, yeah.
Yeah.
No, and then to do that mental health is a whole different
Well, let
thing.
me come back to that in a minute, because I know that one thing you said to me, because although I'm asking you questions and trying to find out bits I don't know, I have learned a few odds and ends on the way. Now, you said something about when you hurt your knee. How old were you when you hurt your knee? 16, was it? Something like that?
15.
15. You were kind of incapacitated for a while. And you learnt, there was something about that, a learning process in that you mentioned a while ago. What did you mean by learning from that? You said something about that.
Well, I don't know. I say a lot of things. It might have been that it led me to do different things with my life.
Go on.
I started a YouTube channel when I was stuck in...
When you were stuck in a...
When I was stuck at home with my leg up, and I just start a YouTube channel.
Okay.
And I did that instead of revising for my GCSEs.
Okay.
And then here we are today. So I honestly think if it wasn't for my knee injury, we wouldn't have these cameras filming us today.
Well, there's something in that then.
We'd have a
Well,
rubbish
it might
phone
be.
cam.
People might say, I wish, for all sorts of reasons.
We'd have our arm out filming, you know?
So what about, I mean, you mentioned there your mental health, and obviously I know a little bit of background here. But and in amongst that, well, because of that probably, you've written a couple of books, haven't you? So do you want to unpack the book writing and what caused it, and the story as far as you want to share it about the fact that you struggled with mental health?
I've written 2 books. The first book I wrote during the pandemic in 2020. I decided to write 1,000 words every day, and I did it for a month, or 29 days in February. So I had 29,000 words, which works out at 63 pages. And that book was called An Unbelievable God. And it's about my thoughts about God. And I guess it would be musings is the phrase.
It's a good title. And I presume you could take that how you liked.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
That's the point of it. It's like great, unbelievable, but also he might not exist. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
So that got me into the book world, but in the last year, with the help of AI, I basically put I wrote about my life, like diary notes, and I put that data into the artificial intelligence, and then it gave me a story. And that book's called Somnolence. And somnolence, that word is the opposite of insomnia, which insomnia is you can't sleep. So somnolence is sleepiness.
Yeah.
And I got that word from my doctor because the medication I take to keep me stable mentally with my schizophrenia type thing is makes me sleepy. And the narrative part in the book goes from me struggling at school and then going to sixth form and university and dropping out and doing studying later on, and it sort of shows you how you can find a good life even though you're on medication, you've got these struggles. So the book is based on my life, but all the characters inside it are fictional. So the main character is called Toby Smith, and that book has got good reviews from people reading it, and my granny has read it twice. So
well, I'd endorse it, having read it. So it's really interesting, and you're also opening eyes to discussions of AI, and I know that'd be something you'd love us to talk about sometimes, the ins and outs, pros and cons, ethics of AI. We'll save that for another time maybe. But the last few years, obviously you've come through this, you're on medication, you're open about that, and obviously that's helpful for a lot of people who are struggling with mental health in various ways, but also you've been through a process that's really interesting, haven't you, the last few years? But you started out, if I got this right, at school as a bit of a maths buff.
I was good at maths.
Do you miss that now, or do you still use that now?
Don't use it.
The
last thing I did mathematical was my last exam when I was 17.
Right, so you don't touch that at all really now.
So wait a second, not 17, 2017.
Right.
Yeah. I haven't done it since.
But obviously you've then moved into a world of computers really, and drones. And tell us a bit about the drone passion.
Well, I like to buy things, so I bought myself a drone, one of the good ones, and a DJI Mavic Air 3.
Tells me a lot, I'm sure.
And it's got a controller, and you can fly it all over the place. And I've got pictures on my YouTube of sort of coastal, like I've flown over Goodreevy Lighthouse. I've flown over, not me, but the drone with the camera. I've flown over Gull Rock at Portreath, and on the top of Trencron Hill, I think it's called, in the middle of Cornwall, where you can see the north and the south coast, and you can see St Michael's Mount. So I like flying drones, And I'm also into software development. As I said in another podcast, I've spent the last 2 weeks making a video game.
Yeah, you have. Popular Kids, I think it was.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
and fingers crossed it'll get approved, and then people can play it.
Approved by who?
But on the computer, everyone plays games off a platform called Steam.
Okay.
And so it's basically the computer version of Google Play Store.
Right. So if you were looking ahead, say to the next 10, well, let's say to the next, I mean, I think your life since COVID, 6 years, has been an interesting experience.
Yeah.
And you might want to say more about that. But also, I mean, if you were to take the next 6 years, have you got thoughts about how, things you'd love to do or how you want that to develop, or are you literally taking day by day?
I think day by day, because with my struggles with mental health, any time where I've got stability and I'm not experiencing huge side effects or anxiety is like a huge blessing. So I'm happy more of the same, really, because I've struggled so much, just to live in a world where I'm not struggling.
And how do you find most days now you're not struggling?
Yeah, because I used to.
What about anxiety levels?
Yeah, I have anxiety like maybe once a week,
Okay.
and I used to get it every day.
Right.
And anxiety used to look like being incapacitated in my bed for like 3 hours listening to meditation music,
Right.
and I wouldn't be able to do anything. And then now it might only last half an hour, and have a day with anxiety.
So are there triggers for it and ways out of it?
Well, you sort of manage it just by letting it pass, but the things that have helped me are medication, on top of the ones that make me sleepy. I also take other ones.
Right.
I take 3. I take vitamin tablets, but I take medication that keeps me stable but makes me sleepy, and then I've got antidepressants.
Yeah.
And then I've also got anti-anxiety, and for some reason when they're all meshed together, they sort of like Humpty Dumpty sort of glues me back together again, and I'm fine.
And that, so you've got to a position of stability, really, then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for the next 6 years, it would just
You'd love it to be like that.
just more of the same, really. And more Pepsi.
Well, have we missed anything in this life of yours here? I mean, we've tried to congest it into a short video, but I mean, there might be other key moments.
The gist of it is that I like maths. Now I like computers, and I want to be mentally well.
I'm sure you do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything about, I mean, I got the impression when I was reading your book,
Yeah.
the somnolence one,
Yeah.
that you were quite a social character until you had your big struggles.
Yeah.
And then you've come back now to being quite a sociable character.
I think
again.
naturally I'm sociable, but you have less energy with the antipsychotic medication.
Yeah.
I think I'm getting to the stage, like without medication, I've got so much energy, it's unreal in comparison. But I'd say I'm at like 80% energy now.
Right.
Which is fine. For all intents and purposes.
Yeah.
It's all right for the pub, isn't it? Just
well,
keeps you going.
Yeah, you become a bit of a pub goer, really, haven't you?
Yeah.
Peter lives just round the corner from the pub.
Yeah.
But you're not allowed to, obviously, medication, you're not an alcohol drinker, it's just a pub drinker for a social drink, isn't it?
I've never been an alcohol drinker, but you specifically on the box, you can't.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that. That's been very interesting. And
Thank you.
We'll try interviewing some more people, because lives are, just by their very nature, fuller than we think.
Exactly.
Cheers, Peter.
Thank you. Thank you very much.